as an Aboriginal woman or a First Nations person, I grew up in a place called Redfern, or the Block, or the Bronx. If you come from the States, they just come to the ghetto and go, wow, this is a ghetto. This is like, way back home. And it's like, okay, great. But we get all the stars. They actually do come to the Block. Michael Jackson, Whoopi Goldberg, Janet, maybe Snoop Dogg. I don't know if you've heard of these guys before. But anyways, growing up in Redfern, it is like a ghetto, and it is like the Bronx, and I've never been there before, told all about it. And that was my home, that was my community, that was my mother's place, if you want to talk about place. Even though they were all stolen generation, they all ended up in Redfern. It was like a mission outside of the city, because most missions, who's heard of missions? Reserves, for people that are from Canada, they have the reserves, and in Australia we had missions. And I've got an amazing map of all the missions all over Australia. It's unbelievable. It's actually shocking. But that was reality, the missions, to live on a mission, to grow up on a mission, to live under an act called the Aboriginal Protection Act that my family knew so well, to be treated so inhumanely. I don't even want to sit here and talk about it. It makes me cry just thinking. So growing up with 8 sisters, come from Redfern, lots of drugs and alcohol around, maybe 1 or 2 people succeeding, lots of people dying. I've been to so many funerals. I think I've been to 2 in one day, 4 in 1 week, and buried 3 kids who committed suicide from our school here in Brisbane in 2 years' time. Yeah, in just 2 years. 2 years ago. So I come from a culture that while the rest of Australia, hallelujah to you guys, are increasing your life expectancy. So most of you will live to 85 or 90. And I'd love to be happy for you, I really would. But it just hurts me to think about my mum died at 46, her sister died at 30, and many, many people in between have all died before they were 50. So when we talk about my culture, we're talking about a culture that exists in this very, very space. It's here, it's alive, and it's me. It's Aboriginal culture, and it's culture that most people don't even know about. I'm going to quickly have a look at this map behind me. I'll go back just to the map. Who's seen this map before? And who hasn't seen this map before? Okay, that's great. So this map is what I call my country. I actually call it our country because Aboriginal people believe that we were caretakers of this land. We looked after it. We didn't exactly own it. The land is far greater than us for humans to own. We looked after this country for 60,000 years, and you look at the country, and every single place in between has got a colour around it. And every coloured place is somebody's place. So if we're going to talk about place, we've got people in Canberra making decisions for Aboriginal people. They're making decisions for 400 different peoples from different places across this whole country. It sounds so ludicrous, but we're all the same. We're all Aboriginal people. We all get put into the same kind of box, and I hate that box. Remove the box. Remove your thoughts of thinking that Aboriginal people are all the same. We're not. We're not all black. We're not all skinny. We don't all have afros. We don't have wide nose and skinny legs. I get it every day. I get the fact that I'm not 100% in your eyes. But what does that mean to you? Why do you care if I'm 100%? If you ask me if I'm Aboriginal, just accept my answer. That's all I ask for you guys. I love saying this every day. I jump in a taxi this morning. Oh, you can't be Aboriginal. You're too beautiful. And I said, that's great, thank you very much. You obviously don't know my people, do you? But it's just sad that foreigners, people that come here, just recently, because he spoke another language and identified of being from Iraq. And he says, well, I've never seen an Aboriginal person before, so I'm sorry if I insulted you, because he could see my body language. With Australians, there's no freaking body language. You just don't get it. You ask us, are you Aboriginal or where do you come from? And then straight away, well, are you half caste or quarter caste or 1/8? I don't understand. So it's none of your business anyways. How would you feel if I asked you? So where do you come from? I'm Australian, I'm 4th generation. No, you're not. Do you have the colour of my skin? Do you know this map like the back of your hand? Do you know the country around you? Do you have a place in this country? Is this really your birth mother, our Mother Earth, this country? We don't ask you that. We as Aboriginal people have good manners. And to question somebody's identity or have them justify exactly where they're from is disrespectful. So one thing I'd like to say to people today is when you do talk to an Aboriginal person, don't ask them how, where, why. Seriously, just close your mouth. And if you really want to learn, wait till you're really good friends with them and just say, hey, what is this half-caste stuff? I hear it all the time. My family speak about it. Are you like one of them? Don't start off on the wrong foot because that's where relationships just go sour. We can't look at you the same. It's like you disrespected us and it's like, I can't forgive you. Go and learn some good manners. So just quickly, I love sharing that with everybody. If I have to justify myself because I choose to identify as being a First Nations person, that's my choice. So people talking about choices here today, I love the fact that there's so many diverse opinions. Everybody had something so beautiful to say that I cried literally every single time, right through to our elderly lady here, a beautiful woman, for saying, hey, we're here. Our elders in my culture are the backbone. They have the knowledge, they have the wisdom, they have everything that we as individuals need. And individuals just don't fit right with me. It doesn't exist in my culture. World views, world politics, Aboriginal philosophy, Aboriginal logic. I'm going to quickly touch base on every single one. Aboriginal logic. This country did not invade each other's country, the person next door and the person next door and the person next to them. They didn't invade each other's country because they looked after their own country. It was their obligation to look after their country. And you know what? They don't want to leave their country. Number 2, in our culture, Aboriginal logic, everything is valid and reason. So if everything is valid and reason, then there's no room for argument. You have your view and I have mine. We're not going to go to war and shoot each other because you believe in God and I don't. So in my culture, if everything is valid and reason, what a beautiful logic. There's no judgmental, there's no ego. So Aboriginal culture is a non-ego-based society. There's no hierarchy. There's no emperor, there's no king, there's no queen, there's no president, there's no chief, there's no freaking commander. There's nobody at the top to bow down to because everybody is equal. Men and women are separate but equal. There's an answer for a lady who spoke before. How do women and men in workforce or in work or in the corporate world become equals? Aboriginal people have been doing it for 60,000 years. Come and talk to my people. Come and talk to my elders who have the knowledge and the wisdom to tell you the things that you are wanting to know, the things that you ask yourself. Why is it this? Why do we do this way? You're in this country. You have an obligation to learn the real history of this place that you all call home. And I must say to you, learn about the history. Learn about this culture. Learn about something that you didn't know that maybe you can tell your child or tell your friend, tell your mum. Educate people. That's what we're here today to do, positive disruption. I want to make a positive disruption. And I want people to feel that Aboriginal people have so much more to offer if only they were asked. If only we were treated like humans. Because, 40 years ago we were flora and fauna. We weren't exactly human beings and we weren't really animals. We're actually like leaves and flowers, and I always say to people, yeah, we're classified as a shit on the ground. all the dead leaves and all that stuff on the ground that we kind of trample over, that's where we were classified there, but we were treated just like the shit on the ground. And to treat people like shit on the ground, you needed to dehumanize that person. So to dehumanize somebody, what you need to do is you can't look at them as being human. So you can then put the Aboriginal Protections Act into place and treat people like animals. You can shoot them, you can kill them, you can disperse of them. That was the newer way to say I killed some Aborigines. I dispersed of them because they were on my property. The most inhumane things have happened to my people, but yet we're still here with a smile on our face. We're still welcoming people into this country. We're still willing to share it all with everybody. We don't want your houses that you brought, even if we do take this country back. My dream one day is that we do take this country back. And this young woman, I think Joyce, who spoke about China and England, and they took their country back after how many years? So it is possible, but we're only 3% of the population, so it's going to take a lot of help and a lot of people to shift their mindsets and see us for who we are, for people that once ran this country, for a culture that's the oldest, literally oldest surviving culture on this whole planet, but yet we still treat Aboriginal people like the shit on the ground. And it gets up my nose, but we're getting there, we're educating people. So the Black Card course I formed with my 3 elders. I spend every day with my elders. They teach me everything that I need to know to raise my children. They tell me the importance of one thing, and I'll let you know this. Why do children in my culture grow up not allowed to ask the why question? Think about it. A whole society of children not allowed to ask why questions. Why do you think that was? I'm going to tell you the answer now. Because we taught our children from a very young age to observe, to look around and to find the answers that they want, not to ask mum and dad or the school teacher to tell me the answer to the question. We had to find the answer ourselves. We had to observe. So we developed very good observation skills at a very young age. So that Aboriginal boy in the territory, knowing everything around him at a young age, that's exactly right. That's how it is. I'm going to go to another slide really quickly. My grandmother, Maureen Watson. So for the feminist people in this room, Google Maureen Watson or Lilla Watson. They're my elders. My grandmother, a beautiful woman who passed a couple of years ago. Very, very, very full-on feminist around the world. She got the Red Ochre Award, the International Peace Prize for her work for feminism, activism, peace. She was literally recognised and treated so well in other countries, but not really recognised here. She wrote this so long ago, and here I am sharing it with you. So human beings are human, no matter what colour, and human rights are the same for me as they are for you. And if a way of life is worth living for, then it's worth dying for. And blacks are dying every day, and nobody makes any fuss. But if history honours those who fight for human rights, then they can do no less than honour us. What powerful words from my grandmother, from a wise old woman who had so much knowledge to share and give to everybody in my family. So I'm very privileged to be here. I'm very privileged to have come from a very strong family who fought the fight and struggle and went to all the protests, and I grew up in that era. And here I am, able to educate people in an everyday life without protesting and jumping up and down by the Black Card course. So if you do want to learn more about this country that you all call home, have a look into the Black Card course. Elders run it, elders own the resources, they hand it all over to you, and they hope that we can change this country. And through them, I actually, I'm here on behalf of my elders, letting them know that I'm willing to make some change for the next generation in a positive way. So I hope one day I can see you guys at a Black Card course. And if everyone has their Black Card, we'll all get along. So thank you very much.